morning, everyone.
Good morning.
We are again present here today for the private conference for civil works under invitation to bid 2024-016 contract, and also re-invitation to bid 2024-002. We are live via YouTube in compliance with Department Order number 06 series of 2024, restraining us to stream activities like this for accountability and transparency of procurement processes. Before we proceed, we request the Secretariat to please acknowledge those who are present here today.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Our attendance for today's activity, pre-bid conference for civil works for 2nd District Engineering Office. We have here the back members, starting with our chairperson, Engineer Edwin L. Hagub.
Present.
Regular member, Engineer Leslie E. Benito. Present. Provisional member, Engineer Jeffrey C. Salmon.
Present.
From the back secretariat, headed by Engineer Edwin P. Pascual Jr.
Present.
Back secretariat member, we have Ms. Girlie D. Verde. Present. From the back TWG, headed by Engineer Jeffrey M. Eliseo.
Present.
And we also have here representative from maintenance section, Engineer John Christopher C. Sion.
Present.
And we would also like to acknowledge our viewers via YouTube. Good morning and welcome. That would be all, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you. Since with the majority of the back members present, I hereby declare a quorum and call this meeting in order. We have a preset agenda. It's activity 1, brief presentation. 1A, basic contract data. 1B, requirements of bidding documents. 1C, documents to be submitted by the bidders. C1, technical component of the bid. C2, financial component of the bid. And 1D, criteria and procedure for eligibility check. So, questions, comments from bidders and replies of back and representatives of procuring entity. 3 other matters, the strike policy against violation of section 69.1 I of IRR of I 9184 or summary of proceedings including supplementary bid bulletin to be issued. Okay. Any motion to adopt this agenda?
I move to adopt the present agenda.
I second the motion.
It's been moved by Engineer Gudito and seconded by Engineer Samon, and with no objection, the motion to adopt this agenda is hereby approved. We have first in the order of business is the 2% explanation. 1A is our basic contract data, and this will be presented to us by Engineer John Christopher Sion from the maintenance section.
Name of contract, repair/maintenance of Tigbawan Creek Revetment 4, Barangay Poblacion, Montevista, Davao de Oro. Contract ID number 24LI0111. Location, Davao de Oro. Scope of works, construction of reinforced concrete revetment. Section 1, station 0+015 to station 0+025, 10 meters. Section 2, station 0+087 to station 0+092, 5 meters. Section 3, station 0+145 to station 0+180, 35 meters. Section 4, station 0+195 to station 0+200, 5 meters. Section 5, station 0+220 to station 0+250, 30 meters. Section 6, station +015 to station 0+40, 25 meters. Section 7, station 0+10 to station 0+60, 50 meters. Common surplus excavation, removal of existing reinforced concrete pavement, and construction of grouted riprap, slope protection. Approved budget for the contract is 3,999,986.26. Source of fund GAA FY 2024 SR 2024-02-011326. Contract duration 93 calendar days, including 15 unworkable days. Size range small b. License category C and D. Cost of bid documents 5,000. Second project, name of contract, repair/maintenance of DILG building BJMP Guardhouse, Barangay New Visayas, Montevista, Davao de Oro. Contract ID 24LI0112. Location Davao de Oro. Scope of works, rehabilitation of guardhouse, including the following: removal and replacement of roofing, removal of structures and obstruction, installation of doors and windows, completion of roofing and roof framing, masonry works, painting works, tile works, ceiling works, plumbing works, electrical works, and 2 set fire extinguisher. Approved budget for the contract 1,499,998.67. Source of fund GAA FY 2024-SR 2024-02-011-676. Contract duration 90 calendar days, including 15 unworkable days. Size small b. License category C and D. Cost of bid documents 5,000. The third project, name of contract, construction of Rainwater Collection System, RWCS. Second District Engineering Office, Compostela, Davao de Oro. Number 1, Katipunan Elementary School, Barangay Katipunan, New Bataan, Davao de Oro. Number 2, Magsaysay Elementary School, Barangay Magsaysay, New Bataan, Davao de Oro. Number 3, San Vicente Integrated School, Barangay San Vicente, Montevista, Davao de Oro. Number 4, Maragusan Central Elementary School, Barangay Poblacion, Maragusan, Davao de Oro. Number 5, Olaykon Integrated School, Barangay Olaykon, Mungkayo, Davao de Oro. Number 6, Union National High School, Mount Diwata Annex, Barangay Union, Mungkayo, Davao de Oro. Number 7, Montevista Standalone Senior High School, Barangay Poblacion, Montevista, Davao de Oro. Contract ID number 24LI0064. Location Davao de Oro. Scope of works, construction of Rainwater Collection System, RWCS. Approved budget for the contract 2,895,000. Source of fund FY 2024-CSSP. Contract duration 120 calendar days, including 20 unworkable days. Size range small b. License category C and D. Cost of bid documents 5,000.
Thank you. Okay, next in order of business is the requirements of bidding documents, and this will be discussed to us by Engineer Ibn Pascual.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
To participate and qualify in a procurement activity, interested bidders are encouraged to read the following documents. First, the instruction to bidders, the bid data sheet, general conditions of the contract, special conditions of the contract, the bid of quantities, drawings and specifications, and lastly, securities and other forms as may be required for the contract. Bidders are strongly advised to read each provision, especially the instruction to bidders and general conditions of the contract, because special instructions are clearly spelled out in the bid data sheet and special conditions of the contract respectively. Bidders are also encouraged to check the bill of quantities so that your bid will be responsive to the requirements set forth in the bidding documents. These documents can be downloaded free of charge from the BJMP and DPWH websites. Interested bidders shall pay the applicable amount for the bidding documents not later than the submission of your bids. That's all. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Discussing these documents. Next in the order of business is the documents to be submitted by the bidders, and this will be discussed to us by Brgy.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, everyone. For the following documents to be included by the interested bidders in their bids, the technical component of the bid, which includes the field jet certificate, not enrolled in the CWA, PCAP license and registration, statement of all ongoing government and private contracts, SLCC and FCC computation, and statement of total assets and total liabilities. Joint venture agreement if applicable. If you already enrolled in the CWR, the eligibility documents to be updated, if you may, the bid security, project requirements such as the organizational chart for the contract, list of contractors' key personnel, list of major equipment owned or leased, and omnibus source statement in a prescribed format in accordance to the GPP bid resolution 16-2020. For the financial component of the bid, which includes the bid form, bid prices of the bid in the bill of quantities, detailed estimates including a summary sheet indicating the unit prices of the construction materials, labor rates, and equipment rental used in the coming up with the bid, and the cash flow by quarter. Please be reminded that the following documents, the omnibus source statement, bid form, and bid security declaration, if you opted to use this type of bid security, should be in the standard format as per guidelines of the Government Procurement Policy Board in the resolution number 16-2020. And kindly check the format of the document you are using to avoid being declared non-responsive pursuant for using of unprescribed format. And this document should be submitted using the two-envelope system. Bidders are urged to fasten the document at the topmost portion instead of hard cores of finding them. Each document should be ear-tagged appropriately. It should be labeled based on the name of the document submitted or attached, not by the numbers or letters according to the checklist. We are reminding the bidders to please follow such to ease the burden of the back members for checking the documents. There should be 3 copies of this document. It should be submitted with the original copy, the copy 1, and copy 2. Original copies of the technical component of the bid shall be sealed on one envelope, and original copies of the financial component of the bid shall be sealed on another envelope. This envelope should be labeled as original copy of the technical component and original copy of the financial component. This labeled envelope shall be then sealed into one final envelope and labeled as original copy of the bid. The same process of the sealings for the copies 1 and 2. Lastly, the original copies 1 and 2 of the bid shall be sealed into one final envelope and labeled it appropriately as instructed in the bidding documents. Bidders are encouraged to read section 21 of the instruction to bidders, page 40, to fully understand the sealing and markings of the bids in case you did not catch up on the 7. Submit your bids personally here in the office on or before June 11, 2024 or 10 a.m. Late bids will not be accepted. You have also the option to submit the bids electronically. The preparation of the technical and financial component of the bids are outlined in the Department Order number 87, Series of 2020. For the sealing and markings of the bid is also outlined in the said DEO and is reiterated on the data sheet. Interested bidders are advised to read in case your choice is electronic submission. Submit electronic bids to electronicbids_Davao de Oro 2 at DPWH.gov.ph on or before the same day, June 11, 2024 or 10 a.m. And please be reminded that your key personnel should only occupy one position in your organizational chart. The duplications of functions of your personnel will be ground for disqualification pursuant to the principle of item 6 under Department Order Number 9, Series of 2012. We will request you to please also indicate the tax identification numbers since this will be used for the awarding of contract. Further, in your bid form and bill of quantities, we will request you to please write it legibly. And also, if you are offering a discount in your bid form, please indicate specifically the methodology as to where or which pay item the discount will take effect. Absence of methodology, original amount will be given. The discrepancies between the bid prices in words and figures, the words will prevail. Bids not addressing or providing, filling out all the required items and the bidding documents, such as in the bill of quantities, the bid is considered non-responsive and is outright disqualified. And always check your documents before submitting the same to our end to avoid disqualification of the agreement. That would be all, sir.
Okay, thank you. Also, we build the detailed estimates, especially the indirect cost. Let's have the OCM, overhead, contingencies, miscellaneous, contractor's profit, but because it is made especially in the construction, if you have a variation order. And in the BOQ, the bill of quantities, use a bigger, yung Tahoma style, yung Tahoma 11, kasi bigger, no? Mabasa, clear in writing. And also then, in addition, that we'd like to remind that the bidders to submit 3 names through email prior to the bidding date. However, only one of these 3 names will be able to enter our premises during the bidding activity. You know, always also encouraged to wear the ID, no? Ma-determine talaga. Okay. Next in order of business is the 1D, the criteria and procedure for eligibility check. And this will be explained to us by Engineer GP DCO.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
The criteria for eligibility check are set forth in Section 23 of the Visayas of RA 984. All prospective bidders should have an updated Class A legal, technical, and financial documents and Class B documents if applicable. So these documents were already discussed by Ms. Legardia a while ago. So during the opening of bids, the first envelope, which contains the technical component of the bid, will be opened, and the back will simultaneously conduct electronic eligibility processing, electronic eligibility check through the civil works application, and the preliminary examination of the technical components of the bid. Bidders who are ineligible to participate because their eligibility documents are not updated shall undergo manual eligibility check based on the submitted eligibility documents. If found to be eligible and at the same time pass the preliminary examination of the technical proposal, their financial proposal will also be open. However, the committee will conduct second electronic eligibility check after updating the eligibility records at the central office or through the contractor's profile application. Result of the latest electronic eligibility check shall prevail over the manual eligibility evaluation. All open components of the bid shall undergo a preliminary examination. If passed, the committee will conduct or will read, or the chairperson or the presiding officer will read the bid amount stated in the bid form. The BAC will immediately conduct, through the aid of the technical working group, the detailed evaluation of all bids using non-discretionary criteria, considering first completeness of the bid and second arithmetical corrections. Bids shall then be ranked in the ascending order of their total calculated bid prices, as evaluated and corrected for computational errors and other bid modifications to identify the lowest calculated bid. The lowest calculated bid will now undergo post-qualification in order to determine whether the bidder concerned complies with and is responsive to all the requirements as specified in the bidding documents. If found to be responsive, the bidder will be declared lowest or single calculated and responsive bid and will be recommended for the award of the contract. If found to be non-responsive, the committee will conduct post-qualification to the next lowest calculated bid ranked during the bid evaluation stage. Bidders with ongoing contracts should be reminded that the committee will verify if you have existing delayed contract as per Department Order Number 127 Series of 2018. So if you have incurred negative slippage or as defined in the DEO or currently being imposed with liquidated damages, you should settle these findings before the period of post-qualification ends to avoid post-disqualification reoccur. As to the equipment verification, the BAC, with the assistance of the Technical Working Group and the Equipment Verification Team, will conduct an inspection and the verification of the equipment pledged by the bidder, including other documents to be evaluated. This is part of the post-qualification process. So, all requirements set forth in the bidding documents, including the instructions relayed during this conference, should be addressed and be well taken care of to avoid disqualification or post-disqualification or reoccur. That's all, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you for that discussion. Now we are now through with the Agenda 1 and we will proceed to Agenda 2. Questions, comments from bidders and replies of BAC and other representatives of procuring entity. Okay, there is a questions. There's no questions, no? No questions. Okay, if there are no questions, we'll proceed to Agenda 3, other matters. Three-strike policy against violation of Section 69.1.I of IRR of RE 9184, and this will be discussed to us by Engineer Chief Misamo.
Okay, good morning. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning, viewers. In order to establish fair and transparent system of managing offenses committed by bidders in a procurement of infrastructure, goods, and consulting services projects through public bidding, the Department of Public Works and Highways hereby introduces an updated three-strikes policy. This policy is aimed to enforcing adherence to the procurement guidelines stipulated under Section 69.1.I of the 2016 revised implementing rules and regulation of the Public Act 9184. Under this policy, if the bidder commits three offenses, acts as described, all other acts that tend to repeat the purpose of competitive bidding, they shall subjected to an administrative penalty. These offenses acts are further classified into three major categories as enumerated below as per Department Order 28 Series of 2024, the classification of offenses, the triggers of the three-strike policy, and exceptions. First, withdrawal from the bidding process, submission of non-participation letter, or failure to provide to submit a bid after purchasing the bids documents. However, the Bids and Awards Committee recognizes certain valid reason for these actions. If upon competition prior to bid submission, the bidder determines that their proposed bid price will exceed the approved budget of the contract, ABC, to substantiate this, the bidder must provide evidence. Acceptable proof includes, but is not limited to, a detailed budget estimation or a market price report. Second, submission of late bids without valid reasons. As determined by the BAC, exception will be considered under extraordinary circumstances, such as force majeure. This refers to unexpected and avoidable external events that impede to prevent the bidder from timely bid submission, as defined in Article 1174 of the Philippine Civil Code. Number 3, submission of penalty, a patently insufficient bid. A patently insufficient bid refers to a bid that fails to include or comply with the certain mandatory requirements. The determination of whether a bidder committed such an offense may occur as outlined below. A. During eligibility screening and or shortlisting. 1. Submission of an expired certificate of Philippine Government Electronic Procurement System or PhilGIPS registration, platinum membership, or a certificate of PhilGIPS certification containing expired Class A. Legal and financial documents as determined during eligibility screening. 2. Failure to include certificate of employment, contract agreement among permanent personnel and staff of the firm, and curriculum vitae of the application for eligibility. B. During bid evaluation. 1. Failure to submit required bid forms as outlined in Annex C, detailing the complete list of required bid forms. 2. Submission of incomplete, insufficient, or defective documents due to the non-inclusion and or omission of mandatory provisions and statements for the required of bid forms. As per Annex C, outlining the mandatory provision is required forms. 3. Submission of an unnotarized bid securing declaration, an omnibus sworn statement, and joint venture agreement or statement from all potential joint venture partners, with the exception during declaration of state calamity or implementation of community quarantine or similar restriction declared or being implemented either in the locality of the procuring entity or of the bidder. 4. Submission of bid forms, price schedules, bid securing declaration, omnibus sworn statement, joint venture agreement without the name, legal capacity, and signature of the bidder or its authorized representative. 5. Nomination of key personnel, a provision different from what is required by the bidding documents. 6. Failure to submit proof of ownership, lease, or purchase agreement of leased equipment. 7. Failure to submit the required certification of key personnel as per Department Order Number 9, Series of 2012. 8. Failure to comply with the required minimum number of key personnel, equipment, as stated in bidding documents. C. During post-qualification, participation in bidding for infrastructure projects by a bidder whose allowable range of contract costs as indicated on the pickup license does not match with the specific requirements of the infrastructure project being bid for in terms of category, classifications, and size ranges. Number 3. Enforcement and penalties. If a bidder commits any of 3 major offenses, acts listed above the 3 times within a year, starting from approval, date of resolution, recommending the imposition of strike 1, first warning, which is counted as 1 day, which is counted as day 1, through days 365, and if these 3 offenses are of similar or identical nature, it will trigger the enforcement of the stipulated administrative penalty, suspension from participating in all DPWH procurement activities, and entering into a contract with any DPWH procuring entity. Subsequently, as per procedure outlined in Annex A, this may result in the blacklisting of the suspended bidder, thereby disqualifying the bidder from participating any government procurement activities for a period of 1 year. In conjunction with blacklisting, the bidder will also face bid security forfeiture and must comply with the enforcement of the bid securing declaration conditions. In more severe instances, when a bidder commits another set of 3 similar offenses or more than 2 sets of 3 similar offenses instances where more than 6 similar offenses occur within the same 1 year time frame, the bidder may subjected to an increased penalty resulting into blacklisting for a period of 2 years. The effective during for the penalty, or either 1 or 2 years applicable, will be clearly stipulated in the blacklisting order, with the provision that the duration of blacklisting shall not exceed a maximum period of 2 years. Commencing on the blacklisting order is approved and issued by the Secretary. That's all, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you for that discussion. So, prospective bidders, no, be careful, read instruction, and comply to avoid that 3-strike policy. Okay, now we proceed to the last agenda, the summary of proceedings, including supplemental bid bulletins to be issued, and this will be explained to us by Engineer Godito.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning, everyone. All the needed information were discussed and explained by the resource persons. I would like to remind the prospective bidders to visit from time to time the DPWH and BJMP's websites, especially within 7 calendar days prior to the deadline of the submission of bids for supplemental or bid bulletins to be issued thereafter. Please also be reminded that the submission of bids on or before June 11, 2024, 10 o'clock p.m. Late bids shall not be accepted. Bid opening will be on June 11, 2024, 10:15 p.m. That's all, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you. Okay, all of the business in the agenda will already taken into consideration. And we have no questions, no? Okay. Okay, may I know the pleasure of the body? There are so many questions.
I move to adjourn this conference.
I second the motion.
It's been moved by Engineer Samon and seconded by Engineer Gubito. And with no objection, the motion to adjourn this conference is hereby approved. This conference is now adjourned. Thank you everyone for coming.